I, 22 male, worked with this guy all summer last year, and towards the end of the summer, I felt very close with him. When he asked me why I don't have a girlfriend or joked what my favorite sex positions were, I broke it to him that I was still a 22 male virgin. He was in his mid-40s. I told him I was a bit frustrated and embarrassed over it, but wanted to wait until the time was right, and I think he felt bad for me. After the summer, the job ended. At the end of the season work party, he brought his 19 female daughter around and tried to get her to talk to me. She immediately friended me on FB and was trying to get my attention, but frankly, I wasn't into her much and didn't understand why she was so into me when she didn't even know me. She dressed in ripped jeans and a cheap hoodie and wore too much makeup. A couple weeks later, her dad asked me to fix her laptop, so I did. She came over with her sister and talked about how back in school, all the guys wanted to hook up with me, like she was bragging even though I didn't find her sexually appealing. I found she posted her snap on her FB, so I figured I'd add her cause I was bored, and immediately she sent me a snap of her in a bra wearing makeup. She looked really attractive in that photo, so I asked her if she wanted to hang out at all and she said sure. I picked her up a few days later and took her out, but she demanded I bring her older sister along, so I figured why not. It wasn't really a date I guess, but I took them to some viewpoint and then to dinner. She hardly said a word and was on her phone the whole time while her sis was doing the talking, which rubbed me the wrong way. The sister was married, but I figured we could get along as friends. A week later, I asked her if she wanted to go out again, just her, but she said she wasn't feeling good, so I waited and asked again a couple days later and she said sure. I asked if she wanted to go see a movie, but she demanded instead I come over her place to Netflix and chill, and she didn't want to go out. At this point, I was really attracted to her, so I compromised and invited her to my place instead. I picked her up and she was wearing cheap clothes and 10 pounds of makeup, and she immediately started talking about how my sister and dad told me not to sleep with you, but I told them I'd do what I want. About an hour into watching this show, she started taking off her clothes and told me to sit next to her. Come closer, I don't bite. She then started rubbing her feet against mine and asked if she could stay over. I was uncomfortable and wanted to take things slow, but I said sure. I said I'd sleep on the couch, but she said she'd be cold in bed alone if I did that, and I was too drunk to refuse at this point. I didn't end up sleeping with her, but messed around instead, and the whole time she was telling me to stick my D inside her and get it over with. Somehow she knew I was a virgin even though I never told her. I brought her home the next day, and her dad said congratulations to me, WTF. And that's when she sent me these messages, which rubbed me the wrong way. She seemed too obsessed with talking about sex, and something seemed off. She wouldn't talk about anything else. That night I came over, I told her I was gonna take it slow and wanted to get to know her a bit more, but didn't mind just making out for now. Within 10 minutes, she yanked my hand into her panties and started kissing me. I left 20 minutes later, and she apologized. A few days later, she told me she had a breakdown and said she needed D bad because she hadn't had D for 4 months, and if I wanted this relationship to work I had to sleep with her. At this point, I told her I was ready and went over and got it over with. A few weeks go by and everything is good, but she still only talks about sex and wants phone sex when I'm not there. When I'm there, she's asking me a million questions about my kinks and wants to try all these positions like she has some checklist she's checking off. Now let's do this, now that. It all felt pretty mechanical to me, and there was no love despite her telling me she loved me 1 week in. She even wanted sex on her period and got me sick when she stuck her tongue down my throat. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have a cold. She tried hard to get me to sleep with her while I was coughing up a storm. The relationship only lasted a few weeks before I started asking her to do other things like let's go for a walk, or the aquarium, or out to eat. After I started asking these questions, she broke up with me and told me she wants to be single and that I'm not good for you anyway. To me, the breakup happened so suddenly and I was shocked and confused. I was just starting to get attached, but now I'm thinking she might have been a hooker all along. The whole time we dated she told me she was unemployed, and I caught her flirting with other guys when she thought I wasn't looking at her phone, towards the end. Whenever I bought her anything at all, a few gifts, she and her dad both got pissed at me while I sat there confused. Her dad insisted on knowing how much I paid. If it really is the case, then all I can feel is betrayed. While I told him I really wanted to lose my virginity, I made it clear I wanted a relationship and I'm not a hookup kind of guy. The last thing she said to me was that she wanted me to go sleep with other girls. TLDR, my older coworker may have hired his 19 female daughter to take my virginity and pretend to be my girlfriend for a few weeks before dumping me because I'm too good for her. Either that or I'm overthinking things. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of sex worker wouldn't want to get paid. It sounds more like she's probably a sex addict who just wants it whenever she can get it, and most girls don't get told no, so she pushed too hard for it. And it's weird for a 40-year-old to be talking to a early 20s dude about his sex life at work. I don't know exactly what his deal is, but I get a real bad vibe from that guy. And it seems like they're both talking to each other about your sex life, which is also weird. Anyway, I just try to move on from the whole situation. I know that might be hard if you work with her dad, but I'd probably try to get into a new job or something too, so you can make a clean break from both of them. Yeah, after I dropped her off the first night she stayed over, she later told me her parents were asking why we didn't sleep together yet. I got angry with her and told her to get some boundaries and that her parents don't need to know about her business. Down the line, her mother apologized and told me the family is an open book. I mean, there's sex positivity and then there's this. Prying into her sex life isn't really sex positive, it's just controlling. It's even weirder that he's friends with your dad and your dad is the boss. Maybe the dad just gets off on the idea of either you or her having sex, but thinks of you both off limits to himself. Maybe he's just trying to get into your family for money? Whatever is going on, it's definitely weird. If anything, I think it's about the money. Her dad thinks I'm a good guy, but also he's always joking around how my dad is a millionaire. Her family is dirt poor, to be frank. Truth is, I got my own issues I gotta deal with, and not that perfect of a guy he thinks me as. Maybe they're trying to baby trap you, and your dad's money, into the family? I dunno, man. Bad vibes though. You must think so too if you're posting here. Trust your gut on this. Maybe. The first night I almost sleep with her, I was a bit drunk and she told me to just put it in, without condom. She later told me she's not on birth control. She tried getting me drunk numerous times since and sleeping with her, but truth is, I never came while sleeping with her. I wouldn't be surprised if she was poking holes in the condom, but she kept asking if I came while sleeping with her but never did. In fact, I have to take a sex pill to get hard most of the time. She said we'd have cute kids the first time we did it. She even tried tightening her V by putting her legs a certain way to get me to see. I kept telling her, it's no big deal, I don't have to see as long as you get off. Yikes, stay far away from her and her whole messed up family. It sounds like they had some plan to get a pregnancy, or maybe even just fake a pregnancy. Sounds like it was a long con to try to get money out of you. The poor girl has clearly had some bad stuff happen to her and thinks she's not worth more than being a sex object. Her family sounds creepy, and, while I think you are well out of this, I do feel bad for her and hope she can find a better path in the future than this over-sexualized form of relationship. She sounds more like a sex addict than a sex worker. Also, dad here seems to be a horrifying pervert and for some reason raised his daughter to be promiscuous and hypersexual. I truly feel sad for her. Unless dad was paying her to go out with you, she's not a professional sex worker. Because she didn't expect money after you had sex, right? Sex workers do it for the money. If there's no money exchanged and you're having sex, that's not a sex worker. I highly doubt your ex's dad and sister are actually related to him. This sounds more like sex trafficking. I very much doubt she's a sex worker. I think if I had to guess, this would be my hypothesis. Your ex has a sex addiction or a very high libido, possibly an unhealthy relationship with sex/dating. Her father is maybe concerned about her behavior. This may be inferred by the fact he told her not to have sex with you on the second date. He saw an opportunity to pair you up with her since he likes you and could see that his daughter's behavior could make her vulnerable to bad actors, so decided to pressure her into dating you. When you bought the gift, he may have been worried that his daughter is trying to sell herself to you, maybe due to past experiences. She tried to compromise but realized you two were very incompatible, so she started looking elsewhere. There could be something more nefarious going on, in which case, I would probably be looking to the dad to understand his motives, since they're pretty vague. But in either case, I doubt this has much to do with her being a sex worker. Sex workers charge money, that's the whole point. They certainly don't turn down gifts, lol. And they don't put all of their eggs in one basket, trying to reel in a single customer who doesn't even want to get involved. when there are thousands of potential clients that are already willing to pay. Edit. Having read your comments, I think the dad's probably trying to pressure her to get with you since your family is wealthy and she seems to be trying to baby trap you. Honestly, OP, early romantic and sexual experiences are awkward enough. Don't second guess things and drive yourself crazy. Do get screened for STIs. Do use condoms with future partners. Do think about what you can learn from that experience. It sounds like plenty of her and her dad's actions made you uncomfortable. It also sounds like you did enjoy some aspects of spending time with her. Think about how to get more of the stuff you liked, and less of the weirdness. Do keep asking women out to fun things like aquariums and walks. This sub is having fun speculating, but we don't know crap either. It's your experience, and it doesn't have to be a conspiracy. It certainly doesn't have to keep you up at night. Goodness, you happened upon a million red flagged fast one. There are nice ladies out there that wish to talk, take things easy just like you, as well as enjoy walks and museums. I am sorry your first experience was with a crazy one. Wishing you the best in the future. You being uncomfortable with sex doesn't mean she's a hooker, which sounds like is the case. However, you being uncomfortable is more than enough reason to say no, and stop having sex/messing around with her. She probably was his daughter that loved the idea of dating a virgin and being his first. But someone can only be rejected so many times before they say, F this. It's in your right to say no. But she threw shame in the wind, and you still said no. She probably got hit in the self-esteem. Especially with how much makeup she wears. Yeah, well, she dumped me after a few weeks when I made it clear from the beginning I was looking for a long-term relationship, not a hookup or friends with benefits, and needed to slow it down a bit. In the end, I felt a bit pressured. This is not the kind of girl for you, please don't keep entertaining it. It seems like the dad's overly sexual side rubbed off on his daughters. You deserve someone that loves you for more than just the sex. How sure are you that this is her dad and he wasn't just your friend getting you a call girl? All signs point to that. Her knowing you're a virgin. Him saying congratulations. Him asking explicitly what you paid her. I think he paid her and was pissed she was double dipping. He's her stepdad. Her actual dad is out of the picture. I know for certain because I basically lived with them for a few weeks. Are you usually very suspicious and distrusting of others? I've been screwed over a lot, so I am paranoid, yes. Especially when she lied to me about me calling her names when I was drunk when I only pretended to be drunk. She also got me so high, and when I tried to get my bearings, her dad told me to drink more, and got me another bottle. Was she drunk when she lied about this? You pretending to be drunk is strange. There is just a lot of testing some random girl of 3 weeks. In addition, for someone to sell their daughter to you to make you not a virgin, is a pretty extreme belief, don't you think? If we step back from all this evidence. No, she wasn't drunk. She never drinks, but one time she claimed I said something when I was drunk I know I would never say. I got suspicious, so I pretended to be drunk the next, and she pulled that BS again. Claimed I gave her the finger and told her to F off. She said people tell the truth when they're drunk, so she knows how I really felt about her now. I never told her I was faking, I went along with it.